All right. Thanks so much, Julia. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to our September 26th session of the AQUIC Speaker Series as part of Ohio Tech Day 2025. My name is Natalie Nurse. As Julia mentioned, I'm the facilitator for today's conversation. I'm the vice chair for AQUIC, for the AQUIC professional chapter, as well as the program director for the computer science department at Cuyahoga Community College. This speaker series is sponsored today by two amazing organizations affiliated with ACM-W, and those organizations are AQUIC and NWO. ACM-W advocates internationally for the full engagement of women in all aspects of the computing field, providing a wide range of programs and services and working to advance the contributions of technical women. The AQUIC ACM-W professional chapter is a statewide community of both men and women technology professionals from industry and academia, dedicated to engaging and empowering Ohio women in computing by building community, celebrating success, and illuminating possibility. NWO is the Northwest Ohio ACM-W professional chapter. We are lucky to be joined today by Alice Demeter, a graduate of Lakeland Community College who now works as an IT manager at Progressive Insurance. She will discuss her education and career path and provide valuable insight on navigating the corporate world, highlight the importance of building connections, and give advice for finding your own success. Before we get started, I would like to go over just a few housekeeping items. First, this webinar is being recorded. Questions are going to be saved until the end of the presentation, but feel free to type your questions into the chat at the bottom of the screen at any time. We also ask that you please remain on mute unless you are called on at the end to ask a question. For those of you who are unfamiliar with Zoom, the mute button is at the bottom left-hand corner. So without further ado, I will turn it over to Alice.
All right. Thanks so much, Natalie. Hi, everyone. To start things off, I'd like to check out some individuals who you may recognize right away and others who you may not. And let's see if you can find a common theme across the group. So next. So Tom Hanks, I'm sure you all recognized him. This Oscar-winning actor and director was nominated and won the most Academy Awards between 1994 and 2004. Known for his stellar performances in movies like Forrest Gump and Saving Private Ryan, Hanks first attended a community college in Hayward, California, before transferring to California State University in Sacramento. Hanks' audition at a community theater near Cleveland State University launched his now successful acting and directing career. Okay, next. All right, here's Eileen Collins. Eileen is a NASA astronaut, and she was the first woman space shuttle commander. With 4 space flights, she had logged more than 872 hours in space and retired from NASA back in 2006. She received an associate's science degree in mathematics and science from Corning Community College before continuing her education at Syracuse, Stanford, and Webster University. Okay, click. George Lucas. Most people know George Lucas as the director of both the Star Wars and Indiana Jones films. He is also the founder and former CEO of Lucasfilm. Before he became a director, Lucas attended Modesto Junior College and studied anthropology during the 1960s. Okay, next. Gwendolyn Brooks. Gwendolyn was an American poet, author, and teacher. Her work often dealt with the personal celebrations and struggles of people in her community. She won the Pulitzer Prize for Poetry in 1950, making her the very first African American to win a Pulitzer Prize. She attended Wilson Junior College, now known as Kennedy King College in Chicago. Next. Mary Barra. Mary is an American businesswoman who has been the chair and CEO of General Motors since 2014. She is the first female CEO of a Big Three automaker. She attended Mott Community College in Michigan before transferring to Kettering University. Next. And then there's me, a proud Lakeland Community College graduate in Kirtland, Ohio, class of 1983, and also a 2014 inductee into Lakeland's Alumni Hall of Fame. So I'm sure that you've noticed that common theme of having community college early in the journeys of each of these individuals. Next. So why this speaker? Truly because a dear colleague, our very own Julia, and she had asked, and because it may be beneficial for you to hear the journey that I have taken. Because 44 years ago, I was at quite a crossroads in deciding where I wanted to head in my life. I was 18 years old without much financial or emotional support from my family, and Lakeland Community College would become a safe haven for me, one that would provide an education in a very marketable field, and that one that would be quite a turning point in my life. Students at a community college each have such a different story to share, and they're looking for different types of opportunities. They may be right out of high school and starting an undergrad degree before transferring to a four-year university, whether to save money, improve a transcript, help to decide what career path to take, or to develop skills that may have been missed in high school. Others may be further along in life and looking to change career paths. Many are lifelong learners with the ongoing desire for continuing education. Or there may be single parents looking to gain an education to give a new start and provide a better life for their family. Community college is made up of students from such a variety of backgrounds, academic histories, and ages. The environment is so diverse and such a representation of the world. So, why this speaker? Why me? I'm here today to share the journey that I have taken to persevere through personal obstacles and make good choices that have resulted in a long-term successful career in IT. I went through struggles as a young woman and persevered to make good choices and to not let my circumstances define me. I will be sharing the impact that community college had on my life and the successful corporate career that followed. Finally, I will be taking a moment to highlight my focus on giving back to the community in hopes of making a difference where the needs are so great. Next. So, very challenging beginning. I was raised in Decatur, Illinois, which at that time was known as the soybean capital of the world. My parents' marriage ended in divorce, and my father later transferred with his company to Mentor, Ohio, and I subsequently moved here as well in the middle of my junior year of high school. I had come from such a small school in Decatur, and then when I enrolled in Mentor High School, it was like a city to me. My class was upwards of 1,000 students, and I'm telling you, I had never seen so many kids before. I was very fortunate to get in with a good group of friends, as I had always gravitated towards people who came from loving families. Moving to Mentor was a blessing, as it gave me a fresh start with many possibilities ahead of me. I had made a personal vow as a teenager to never play the role of a victim and to try to make better choices and to make a positive difference in the lives of others. So whether you may have gone through challenges in your path or in your past, or you're at a crossroads and trying to find the right direction to take, always remember that you will have choices to make that can impact you long term. Use each experience in life to learn and grow from so that you can make those good decisions for your future. Okay, next. Upon graduating from high school in 1981, I pursued my lifelong goal of getting an upper education. There was never a question that I would have to put myself through college, and paying for a four-year university was just not attainable for me at the time. Back then, and I wasn't aware of them, but there just weren't as many options as there are today with the many scholarship programs and other avenues for financial assistance. So I made an appointment with the registrar's office, and I was pretty blown away at how kind and welcoming everyone was. So I enrolled at Lakeland and was put on a payment plan to be able to cover the very reasonable cost of tuition. I originally wanted to attain a degree in accounting, but changed direction when I took a computer programming course and really became intrigued with this growing profession. I was working at a department store at the mall, and I was so tall that I actually did a lot of my homework on the top of the higher display cabinets in between customers. The store manager never caught on, but she and I did become very good friends many years later through community research, and I had to confess what I had done back then. But I did tell her that I made all A's, though, and appreciated her unknowing support. So I graduated in 2 years and received an associate's degree in information systems in 1983. This was pretty rare at the time, as women generally didn't go into those types of technical professions. It was such a different time back then, and the programming languages that I learned were, and you may have heard of many of these, but the first one was assembler, which is a low-key programming language that directly corresponds to a computer's machine code instructions. So unlike higher level language, assembly language interacts directly with the computer's hardware, including the processor's registers and memory. Another one that I learned was called RPG, Report Program Generator, which was a language that used punch card machines. I don't know if you can see this in my visual, but I actually found some old punch cards on eBay so that I could show you how we used to have to program back in the old days before there were code generators, because we were the code generators. But each line of code would be key punched on a card like this. And one program could have hundreds, maybe many hundreds of cards in a stack. So you should have seen stress levels would just skyrocket if you happen to drop your program while, it's a windy day, you're walking across campus, you drop your program, cards everywhere, just nuts. Or you have one little bent card that completely jammed up the card reader so that your program would not load or run. But then after RPG, I learned COBOL. This was my truly winning lottery ticket. COBOL was, and still is, widely used by corporations in their mainframe environments, and this made me very marketable. After graduation, I was able to secure an entry-level mainframe programmer position at a company called Bailey Controls in Wickliffe, Ohio. Now it's called Babcock Wilcox. But IT management at Bailey found Lakeland students to be viable candidates to hire due to the foundational, hands-on computer programming skills that were built. And because of the large volume of actual programs that I had written in my IT courses, I felt very well prepared to join the company. Lakeland provided me with the fundamental tools and techniques that I needed to be productive in the corporate world. But I still had to have that initiative and drive to continue to do self-directed learning to try to stay on top and ahead of the ever-changing technology field. My technical career continued as I joined other large IT shops across the Cleveland area and moved into more senior and lead-level mainframing programming positions. From programming, I moved into project management and ran multi-million-dollar software development projects. During that time, I was employed at KeyBank in downtown Cleveland. And then about 20 years ago, I was looking to change companies and get a little closer to home and saw that Progressive Insurance in Mayfield Heights had an open project management position. A program was in progress, which was comprised of dozens and dozens of individual projects, with the goal of completely rewriting Progressive's policy processing system. And it really was like giving a heart transplant to this huge corporation. The budget at the time was being estimated at over $400 million in labor alone, in addition to whatever hardware acquisition was needed. The scope was extensive, as nearly every software application across the company was impacted in some capacity. And here I was, didn't have my undergrad degree, but I had taken the initiative to get my certification as a project management professional, or PMP, which is still widely recognized in the industry. So with this certification, along with my years of IT experience, it got me that interview, and I was so excited to be offered a position to join the company. So then over the last 19 years at Progressive, I've been in the position of an IT manager with direct reports upwards of 20 IT professionals. And I can sincerely say that my career has resulted to the education that I received at Lakeland, along with a good amount of hard work and initiative and taking personal accountability, which gave me quite a jump start into the technology field. So next. A main area of my responsibility at Progressive is that of talent management, which involves supporting the career development of my team members while also ensuring that the goals and objectives of the company are being met. I really do not accept others demonstrating a victim mentality, but try to coach and mentor them to take ownership of situations and determine how they can make a positive impact. Many years ago, I received a presentation from a well-respected leader in IT that resonated with me and has become a framework for how I strive to lead. So here are the three main points that you'll see on the screen. Deliver successfully, advance the capabilities of the organization, so leave things better than when you started, and also develop the talents of the organization. Okay, next. So delivering successfully, what does that mean? It's really, a lot of it is understanding your strengths and areas of opportunity. Always have a plan, but know that there will be times when you're just not going to meet your goals. How you react in these situations will demonstrate your character and integrity. I remember when I was a new manager and our management team, we all had a shared objective to deliver a project by a certain date and with an approved budget. Well, needless to say, the scope of the effort expanded, problems ensued, and the goals were not met. This resulted in a low proficiency rating on each of our annual performance evaluations. And I had always received positive ratings before and had a reputation for delivering successfully. And it hit me pretty hard initially. And, human nature, it can be, defensive. It's easy to point fingers, easy to cry foul. Plus, I'd been raised in an environment at home where criticism was very frequent, and I would do anything to avoid the negativity. What helped me was to take a breath, take a step back, really assess the situation. And when I reviewed the objectives that had been established, I could see where I personally had misstepped. I course corrected, planned out what I needed to do going forward, which really involved better communication and working more closely with the rest of the management team to make certain this wouldn't happen again. So using this very standard type of approach helped to build stronger working relationships with my peers and our teams, which then resulted in successful delivery down the road. Taking personal accountability is not always easy, but it will help to differentiate you from others. You own how you react to tough and stressful situations, and you have the power to avoid heading into a downward spiral, because when you hit rock bottom, there's no place to go but up. Personal accountability is about each of us holding ourselves accountable for our own thinking and behaviors and the results that they produce. And I knew from experience that I couldn't change other people. I couldn't control the circumstances, but I could control the way that I reacted and how I needed to focus my energy on being productive and choose to be happy and not blame, complain, procrastinate, or feel entitled, because we always have a choice, always. I believe that to deliver successfully, you have to ask yourself these types of questions. How can I be a better leader, a better parent, a better spouse, a better friend, a better employee? What can I do to show that I care? What can I do right now to make a difference? This is how taking personal accountability changes the world, one choice at a time. Next. One of my favorite quotes: life is 10% of what happens to you and 90% of how you react to it. Next. So advancing the capabilities of the organization. So when you're looking for a job, it is very important to do your homework, find out what the company is all about, and see if it's a place where you feel that you could make a difference. When I researched Progressive, I couldn't believe how large this corporation was right in my own backyard in the Mayfield Village area. I was also impressed with the core values of Progressive, which I have found they are followed without exception. So here are the core values. Integrity. The company reveres honesty and adheres to high ethical standards. Golden rule. Differences are valued and respected, and employees act with kindness and caring and treat others as they want to be treated. Objectives. Ambitious goals are set and performance is measured. Excellence. Progressive strives to meet or exceed expectations. And then, of course, profit. There is a responsibility to be profitable and also to be an enduring company by offering products and services that consumers value. And Progressive stands behind these values, and that was one of the key reasons why I wanted to work at such a place. Next. So this area of my leadership framework is truly nearest and dearest to my heart. I find no greater satisfaction than seeing my team members to be successful and growing their career development. I've done a substantial amount of interviewing over the years, including college recruiting, and I will generally have technical experts included on the interview team to confirm the level of skill and capabilities that the candidate has on their resume. What I'm looking for is more around team fit and how the candidate would assimilate into the company and within the team dynamics. Building the right team and hiring the right candidates, this is critical for the success of an organization, and it's very costly when the wrong hiring decision is made. Here are some of the competencies that I look for in a candidate, and I'm listening for solid examples of their ability to build positive working relationships, communicate effectively, demonstrate good decision making, accept constructive feedback and take appropriate action, deliver successfully, and show a desire to continually grow in their personal development. Now, most companies use what's called targeted selection or behavior-based selection for their interviewing approach. And responses need to be in another acronym in a STAR format. So you've got a situation or a task that you're sharing, the action that you took, and then very importantly, the result that was achieved. So when you're prepping for interviews, make certain to take the time to prepare ahead of time and have an inventory of examples in something like a STAR format for situations that are both positive and negative. So when I'm interviewing, I will ask questions about sharing times when things didn't go as planned, or when the person had to deal with a difficult coworker or was under a lot of stress. And personal accountability will generally shine through. Always have a list of questions to pull from to ask at the end of an interview. This will show your interest in the position and also in the company. I will also ask this type of question as an interview is wrapping up for the candidate to just tell me what differentiates you from other candidates. And of course, you're not going to know who's in the candidate pool, but what do you bring? What would you bring to the company that would differentiate you from others? I also will always prepare what I call a platform or an elevator speech, just to use to recap why I would be the right person, the right fit for the position. Just a few sentences are needed to share your unique combination of skills and experience. These are key points that you would want to resonate with the interviewer after you've met with them for the open position. I also want to share how important it's been for me to have mentors and role models throughout my career, and then in turn, strive to be one myself. I truly care about my team members, past and present, and make a concerted effort to stay in touch when one moves to a new position or a new organization. So I really encourage each of you to find someone who you look up to in your field or who can be a trusted advisor to talk to, someone with the wisdom and experience to help provide meaningful, actionable coaching. When I was at Lakeland, I had a dear professor who was instrumental to me when I was a student. Her name was Professor Judy Mazzio, and she was amazing. We called her Maz affectionately, and I just was very saddened to hear that she had passed away in 2010 after a battle with cancer. But what a legacy she left behind. I had found out about her passing as a result of reaching out and contacting Lakeland to try to catch up with her and let her know how I was doing in my career, because I had never forgotten her and wanted to get back in touch and thank her for providing me with such a solid foundation in which to begin my adventure in the technology field.
Happy Friday.
Oh, yeah. Oh, happy Friday. Maz was a gifted teacher and held our class to a high standard of delivering quality programming. She had an extensive corporate career herself, and she brought real-world business scenarios into the classroom where she would have us assess and develop technical solutions for actual case studies. Because of this instructor and Lakeland, I was very well prepared to secure that rookie programmer position at Bailey Controls upon graduating, 44 plus years ago. She was a leader and a role model to me. And I just truly appreciate the high caliber instruction and training that I received and for the career that resulted. So if she was still here, she'd be guiding her students to be continual learners and provide encouragement on learning new technologies, especially in this ever-changing world of AI. Next. This quote by Emerson is another one of my favorites, and it's something I really, really try to be as a leader. And it just says to leave the world a better place, to know even one life has breathed easier because you have lived. This is to have succeeded. Next. So over the years, since graduating from Lakeland, it's been an important focus of mine to give back to the community by serving on many local nonprofit boards. I had shared before I was inducted into the Lakeland Alumni Hall of Fame in 2014. I'm also a prior member of the Lakeland Foundation Board and a graduate of the Leadership Lake County program. So I have a personal commitment to provide mentoring to the younger generation, especially to help students prepare and new professionals to begin their journey into the workforce. Helping others to realize their potential is truly a passion of mine, and I would like to give back in this capacity in gratitude for all that was done for me when I was in my earlier days of finding my way in this old world. Next. Now, these are just a few reference books that I have found to be very beneficial, and there's so many wonderful leadership and tech books that are available. But this age-old one by Dale Carnegie, How to Win Friends and Influence People, it's always a good one. Delivering Happiness was just a really cool read. This was from a prior leader at Zappos. understanding that keeping people happy is the key to professional growth and harmony. Linchpin is a good one about being indispensable. The obstacle is the way is all about turning trials into triumph. For me, this center there, you'll see the Bible is the center of everything for me. And that's my ultimate reference book on leadership, relationship building, and making the right decisions and choices. Over to the right, you'll see Strength Finders. This is a wonderful one, and it's got an online assessment that helps you identify your top strengths and then also having strategies for applying them. EI, the Emotional Intelligence book. This one also has an online assessment and also provides strategies to help you achieve your fullest potential. The Making of a Manager, it just shares what to do when everyone looks to you and understanding the difference between, being a manager and being a leader. The last one there is a newer one. It's The Coming Wave. And this one's interesting as it examines the future of artificial intelligence and just shares pretty straightforward the good, the bad, and the scary, but in very realistic terms. So if we could go to the next slide. So I've included a link to a video that you may find interesting to watch on generative AI. Now this one, by these standards today, it is a little older. It's from earlier in 2024, but it's still very relevant and informative. I think it only runs about 17 minutes, but I encourage you just to keep learning and growing and demonstrating flexibility, having a mindset of curiosity, and seeing what possibilities the future can hold and how you can make a positive impact. Next. So with that, I just want to say that it truly was such an honor to be able to speak with you today. And I wish each of you so much success in your future, because life can be so messy and complex. And my hope is that you've heard a message of hope and perseverance that led to a successful career and a fulfilling personal life. Julia and Natalie, they have my contact information if you would like to stay in touch. And I'm always happy to meet and discuss your career goals or, just even to share challenges that you may be facing. See also from what you've heard if you may be able to leverage that leadership framework of delivering successfully, advancing the capabilities of the organization, leaving things better than when you found them, and advancing the talents of an organization, like how you can help to support and develop others. So hopefully there were aspects of my message that resonated with you. And just see how you can learn from every situation and make good decisions that will set the stage for a successful future. Next. So just one last quote. Just one last thing to share, that life is an adventure, dare it, a duty, perform it, an opportunity, take it, a journey, complete it, a promise, fulfill it, a puzzle, solve it, and a goal, achieve it. So with that, I'd just like to say thank you, and I can stay absolutely and answer any questions that you may have.
Yeah, thank you so much, Alice. Really appreciate you sharing all that insight with us. If anyone has any questions, feel free to either come off mute and ask, or you can type them out in the chat. Alice, I have a question to get us started, if we can. So you spoke about the impact mentorship has had on your career. What advice would you give to someone who is seeking a mentor but is unsure how to approach that conversation with someone?
Yes. No, that's wonderful. And, generally, you're going to be looking for someone who you really look up to. And even more importantly, too, someone who is going to be very honest and who you've got a trusted relationship that you either have or you can build together. Someone who's going to be able to just give you good guidance. I want to say too, when you go into a mentoring relationship, it's the mentee. So you would be the one to take ownership of that relationship. Have goals. What are the goals that you've got in mind for having a mentor aligned? And then how often would you be meeting? How are you going to just see how things are progressing? But really, when you're looking for a mentor, even try to find someone too who maybe thinks differently than you do, or comes from a different perspective. So you can actually have multiple mentors as well too. But the most important thing is having that trusted relationship and to be very open to feedback.
Thanks, Alice. We have a question in the chat. If you can advise a college student on one thing they should do in college, what would that be?
No, that's a wonderful, wonderful question. I just think just being open to the possibilities. So it's even when I went into Lakeland, I was so set on I was going to be an accountant. That's all I wanted to be. Wanted to be. It'd been actually a dream of mine to be an accountant, but just being open to the possibilities. Try to stay on top of what is going on in the world. Like for me at the time, heavy hitting, kicking out programming code. That was where the money was at the time. It's a different world now too. So even just seeing like, where is technology trending? Is it prompt engineering? Is it AI that you're very, very interested in? And just learn as much as you can from that.
Thank you. Um, I have another question. So we've all been hearing a lot of chatter about the uncertainty of the current IT job market. What advice would you give to a new or upcoming graduate as they navigate their job search?
Mm-hmm. And it's going to be what sets you apart. So what we're seeing at Progressive as well too, yes, AI is here. It is not going away. But if anything, we're seeing there's going to be more of a need, but it just could be a different need in technology. So that's where what is going to differentiate you? What leadership skills can you grow to show, okay, here's why you're an exceptional collaborator, communicator. Can you bring people together? How can you be the one out there in the forefront that people want to follow? So it is technology. The field is going to continue to grow. It's just changing, which it has since I was kicking out code on punch cards. So, and it's just being very flexible. Don't pigeonhole yourself into one silo. But I'm telling you, when I'm hiring, that the tech skills absolutely are critical, but it's those leadership skills as well too that are going to set you apart. What are those soft skills? So build those as well. What kind of change agent are you? I would think there are probably wonderful offerings on organizational change management. How can you help others adopt change successfully? So those are the kind of things that would set you apart.
Thank you. Any other questions? Again, you can come off mute if you have a question, or you can type it into the chat. All right, then I have one final question, and I didn't want to take time away from anyone else. But again, while we're talking, you can always type your question into the chat. I just want to. Oh, I got another good one. Okay, so what are major pointers in identifying a good mentor?
Mm-hmm. That's a wonderful question. And this is where you look to someone, could be someone in your same field, could be someone different, but it's going to be someone who you really see as a role model, someone who you've just seen high ethics, high integrity, maybe even a fearless quality in being able to give coaching and guidance, but as very constructive, just So that kind of individual, because it's not going to help you out if someone's like, oh, you're so great, you do this great, everything's wonderful, sunshine and bunnies. It's not going to help. You really need that coach and mentor who is going to provide the good guidance. So that I would say that's probably the most important thing. And again, just circling back to the point too about just you setting expectations for the relationship. These are the kind of things you're looking to grow. So have those goals in place. And how are you going to take ownership of a plan partnering with this individual or individuals? And honestly, if you approach someone to be a mentor, generally people are going to be so humbled and so appreciative and will want to help, especially when you get people in leadership positions that you see are truly leaders. That servant leadership type of approach, or that's how they live. They're going to want to be there for you.
Thank you.
and and I'm always happy too. So just you always reach out to me as well.
Yes. And again, we'll have Alice's contact information that we can give out. She's been kind enough to let us do that. So thank you for that, Alice.
Of course.
What advice do you have for early career IT professionals who are looking to take the next step in their career and move into a management role?
Okay. Now you will get to a point where I really did enjoy it early in those mainframe programming days, and it's just very different where you've got some type of business solution that you're looking to solve and you're focused on that. And after a while, after you get that experience, I gravitated so much more towards talent development and the people management, which is what moved me to go into project management so that I had a team, dotted line to me, and we were delivering together. But I was helping to lead and to be that one to try to break down roadblocks for the team, be there to help support them, to help get people onto assignments that were great for their careers. So it's just where your passion is. Some individuals love that technical delivery, kicking out code, seeing something delivered. But you may be gravitating towards, okay, then it's like helping to lead and manage people who will then do that delivery. So that was where I was at. And then when I went into project management, then the next opportunity came where I could have a team of direct reports. So then I could have oversight of doing their performance evaluations, supporting promotions, identifying future leaders. And currently a progressive, I'm one of the co-leaders for it's a career development program where we're building up aspiring architects. So those top technical leaders at Progressive. But it's so much fun, and it's just so inspiring to see the younger talent and how to help nurture and shepherd them through their careers. So it's really just what inspires you the most, like what's the most fulfilling. Like for me, it was the talent development, but talent development of technical talent. So really, and again, there's so many great training opportunities, anything that you can be taking, learning how to build communication, collaboration, organizational change management types of skills.
Thank you. Any other questions?
Doesn't look like there's anything else in the chat. I think we're good.
All right. Well, thank you all so much again for joining us. Thank you, Alice, for your time today. We really appreciate it. This is a monthly speaker series, so keep an eye out for more emails with about future speaker series. Julia, anything to add?
No, I don't think so. That covers it. You'll get the recording shortly, and then we will definitely be announcing as we have more speakers. So thank you also, Alice. Thank you, Natalie. And thanks all of you for attending.
All right. Thank you all.
Thank you.